Hey guys, welcome to the Hey DJ Show. I'm your host, DJ Jimenez. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you're over on YouTube, please go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe for more content. And remember, you can catch this podcast wherever you get your podcasts, on the go and all that. And do consider following me on every social media platform. I always say this, with all that boring stuff out of the way, let me introduce my next guest. I'm really excited. Brady Dittmar. Did I say that right?
Yeah, that's right. You got it,
man. Hey, man. How you been?
I've been good, man. How are you?
Oh, man. I'm excited now that you're here. So let me just say this right off the bat, because I know I'm doing a Father's Day special. You're not a father, but hey.
Future. In the future, I will be.
Well, it's like that I know of as of now.
Yeah. None right now, but eventually, maybe one day.
Yeah.
If everything goes according to plan.
You're a pet dad.
Yeah.
I have a cat. I'm a cat dad. I just lost like a bunch of subscribers just from saying that. Oh man, no, I'm excited. Yeah, I tried to get a dad on, but none of them really got back to me. So I was like, the show has to go on. So
yeah, they're doing dad things.
They're
taking
doing
care
dad
of their children.
It's way more important than my stupid show. So hey man, how you been?
I've been all right, man.
How was your workout? You went and worked out today?
Yeah, it was good. I mean, I don't want to say it kicked my ass, but it kicked my ass. So,
how long did you work out for?
I got there. I worked out probably 2 hours, honestly. Well, no. It was like an hour and a half, I'd say.
Yeah.
Just because I was so tired today, man. But I had to bust through it,
Yeah. What time did you wake up today?
I woke up at 11:30, I think. Yeah.
I did too. I'm not gonna lie. Man, after work.
Yeah, after the entire work week, I have to sleep in a little bit. Can't get up early like I normally do. But
my cat wakes me up though. Like, she's a little bit of a morning cat. She'll wake me up at 10:30, but I'm like, come on, baby, hold on. Let me sleep in for a little bit.
Yeah,
and then I'll feed her around like 11:30. But I try to actually beat her to the punch. Like throughout the rest of the week, I'll wake up normally around like 9:30, and like that's my internal body clock that will wake up. But I'll still stay in bed till like 10. Just because I wake up at 9 doesn't mean like I get up.
Right. No, I do the same thing. Yeah, I'll try and get up around 9:30, 9:45, but it's pretty rare that I get out of bed around that time.
Oh, so you're not a morning person either?
No, I'm a night owl. I've been kind of trying to train myself to become more of a morning person, because it's essentially the same depending on when you wake up. You just have like a little extra time in that area, I guess. So as long as you use it wisely, that's all that really matters.
Yeah. No, I can summon up amount of energy throughout the day. If you need me to stay up till 4 or 5 in the morning,
easy.
As long as I'm doing something too, it's not necessarily just like, watching TV or playing games. I'll fall asleep.
Yeah.
But if you need me to do something, if I'm with a group and we're talking, we're still story sharing and just ripping on each other, I can stay up. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've done that.
No, I'm the same way.
Yeah, I'm a night owl, man. Morning, and I'm trying to be, and I can't wait till I graduate from school and then get a real job, kind of say, and have that kind of 9 to 5. Like, I want that. Like, honestly, I need to be a little bit of a morning person. My goal too is hopefully to, if I ever meet somebody, I hope she's a morning person so she can motivate me to be a morning person. Just not.
Yeah, it all comes with time. Just like incremental changes like that, you gotta force yourself to do it. Yeah. Otherwise, it'll never change. Yeah. But
I met somebody that said, I was in my younger 20s. I was like maybe 21, 22. I can't remember. But somebody was like, oh, that'll start to change as you get older. And I don't doubt that. But the person who said it to me was like already in their 30s, and I'm almost there. And I'm like, I'm still staying up till like 4 in the morning, bro. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I wonder if there's somebody like that's in their like 50s who's still like, no, man, I'm not a morning person. I'm still staying up till like.
Oh, I'm
4 in the morning.
sure. I'm sure.
I bet there is.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Some 50-year-old nerd that just stays in their mom's basement.
Oh man, playing what's the game now? I was gonna sound super old and say Fortnite, but like
Fortnite's still there.
Fortnite's still there, but I'm like, I don't think it's like the game now.
No.
I
guess we're kind of in between cultural shifting games, aren't we?
We really are. That's so weird.
It was like Among Us for a hot minute.
Dude, and I wanted to jump on that train. I discovered that, but I didn't have a PC, and so and I didn't want to play it on the freaking iPhone or iPad.
Mm-hmm.
Then it came out on the Switch, and it's cross-platform, and I love that. But I just need to join like a Discord and get with people and be like, yo, let's play.
I find it not fun.
Really? I love Among Us.
I don't find it enjoying.
What?
Like I don't find any amount of entertainment from it, honestly. It's just like you run around doing the same thing over and over and over again, and then you just like try and talk your way out of people voting you out. Like to me, there's way better games that are challenging, that present like a good reward and risk system, or a risk reward system, you know? But that's just me. That's just my opinion.
Okay, because I'm going to push back a little bit where you said it's like, oh, you're doing the same thing every single time. I remember, doesn't matter. I would watch IGN reviews on games, and I always hated this comment on reviews like, oh, it's super repetitive. Name me one game that isn't repetitive. Every game is repetitive.
Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying, but to me, it's just like menial tasks done over and over and over again, meeting back at that little round table or whatever. I mean, I guess I've only played a couple of games of it, and I was never imposter, and that also made me...
Oh, that
made me salty.
Really,
but...
yeah, you only played it a handful of times. You need to play with me. We need to get a nice group going and just have fun. Like, I love it. Any game... I'm in it now where any game that I can be silly with people and not take it too seriously, I'm there. I don't like the idea of, oh, hey, let's play Call of Duty. Let's play, like Warzone. Let's play Apex. Let's play Fortnite. And let's try to, like, basically take it so seriously, like, oh, let's always be champions. I just want to, sometimes I just want to shoot the shit. I just want to run around and act stupid.
I feel that. I mean, I grew up with Call of Duty and Halo and like just like shooting games like that. So those always are going to appeal to me. Yeah. And to me, it's just a great time killer. Like, I'm going to jump on, play a couple rounds, see how I do. Yeah. And just shoot some bitches. But
I miss Grand Theft Auto, man.
Yeah, like, Grand Theft Auto was fun too.
Yeah, no, me and my friends would I like games, almost like sandbox games where you can play them, and basically instead of doing the story, instead of doing, I don't know, like side quests or whatever, you're just playing around in the world and you're making your own game as an individual. So with Grand Theft Auto, one thing we've done, and plenty of people have done this, is me and my friends will try to get 5 stars, and we'll try to see how long we can survive without shooting anybody, and just see if we can get away. And we'll have a timer to see which one of us is better to who can survive. Yeah, I like shit like that. You know?
I do too. Yeah, I mean, I'll still jump on a Grand Theft Auto and just mess around. You know, just to like drive the wrong way on a motorcycle on the highway and just like see how long I can weave in between cars.
Exactly.
Or like find the tallest tower in the game and just like sit there with a sniper rifle and pick off cops. And then like the helicopters start flying in and you just like gunning them down. See, I like doing stuff like that.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. So now that we're on the topic of games, I like this. It feels nice. And I told you this before. It feels nice. Like, don't get me wrong. I love all the moms and dads that were on the show. I love everybody that's just in general being on the show. And I love those who are watching the show. But I really do love just being able to like not have anything. Not that my show's scripted, but I like just being able to talk about whatever. Yeah. So now that we're on topic of games, let's just dive right into it. What's one of your favorite games? Like, at least give me 1 or 2.
I am really, really into the From Software games. So Dark Souls, Bloodborne, Sekiro. I actually just started playing Sekiro again yesterday. I mean, that's the first time that I've played really any video game in a while. I kind of fell out of it for a little bit, just because I needed to do something else. You know, I got kind of bored with all the games that I was playing, and I just put them down. And I was also moving at the time, and I've been working a lot and working out a lot as well. So haven't really had the time. But I got home from work yesterday, and I was like, I'm just going to relax and jump into some Sekiro and just, clang swords together. And I really like how challenging those games are too. Like they really, they leave no room for error at all.
Those types of games, I mean, I'm trash at those games, but can you put on a podcast and listen to it?
Oh yeah. No, that's what I was doing yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I find myself, as of now, recently, any game that I can listen to something while I'm playing it, I'm there. Don't get me wrong, I love my story games. I like diving into them. But every now and then, I kind of want to just turn off my brain, listen to a podcast and play. And so I've been playing Subnautica, kind of like the sea world of Minecraft. And so I've been enjoying that. But I don't know, like my buddy tells me I need to play Sekiro and
do it. I mean, it's tough.
Yeah.
It is tough. It's a hard cookie, but it's so worth it.
Yeah.
Like I love it. I love it to death. It's seriously one of my favorite games of all time.
Nice.
Yeah, there's just something about it.
I see the grappling hook mechanic on it, and that had me sold. Anything like that I like.
Oh yeah, I mean like the controls are super smooth. The combat mechanics are really nice. Once you get used to it, it's really like you're sword fighting in a way. Like, I mean, there's no movement really like that you're doing, but it's all a certain button press to block, to do a certain counter, to do a certain, sweep, like sword sweep or whatever. And it's, once you get into it, like once you get that down, you feel like such a badass.
Yeah. I bet it's the same with Ghost of Tsushima, which you need to play.
Yeah, exactly.
If I had the hard copy, I was going to get the hard copy. If I had the hard copy, I'll let you borrow it. But yeah, no, Ghost of Tsushima, the sword play in that is freaking awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I used to spend a lot of time gaming. Back in middle school and high school, I'd play just hours of the day spent just gaming. And yeah, now that I've gotten a little older, I just can't do that anymore.
Yeah.
Like I genuinely feel bad. I'm like, I'm wasting my day right now. Like I could be cleaning, I could be doing something, I could be reading a book and or writing, anything else. Working out.
I'm the same way, except I envy it. Like I want to. Like I'll be honest.
Oh yeah.
I'll be at work and I'm like, man, I just want to sit down and just play for hours. But when I finally get the chance, I'm like, all right, I gotta do stuff.
Yeah, I gotta stop.
Yeah, and then when I'm actually playing, I'll get my fill with a couple of hours, 2-3 hours, and then I'm like, all right, I got my fill. I gotta do something else. But yeah, no. The longest game session I've ever had, I remember this. It was in high school. It's during summer vacation. I was playing God of War, and I played that from 9 p.m. all the way till sunrise.
Damn.
And I didn't know it. Do you remember the Soda Vault?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was around the time that came out, and I remember having it, and shit, I stayed up till sunrise, and I was playing it from start to finish, and I was even doing some of the extra content after that, and I was just playing it, and I wasn't tired at all, and then the sun was rising, and I was like, fuck, I need to go to bed.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
No, I remember certain snow days where my friends and I would just jump on a Monster Hunter all day. Just do quest after quest after quest. Yeah, that's another challenging game. But once you get down with it, you really start to enjoy it.
Yeah.
I mean, and then other than that, Dishonored was a game that I really fell in love with as a young guy. And I would just spend hours.
I love stealth.
Hours on certain just stuck in this building in a stairwell trying to map out the guards' routes and stuff. And I'm just okay, I gotta make my move somehow.
Mm-hmm.
And then like it records your time, how much you spend on a certain level, and be like 4 hours on this level. I'm like, shit,
worth it. I'm alive.
Yeah. Didn't get seen.
Yeah.
Ghost. Yeah.
No, I any stealth game, if a buddy pitches it to me, they mention stealth, I'm there.
Mhm.
Like I'll at least give it a shot. Not all stealth games are great, but Dishonored is definitely top 5. Oh man, I love it. They need to make a third one.
They have.
Well, I mean Dishonored 3.
Oh, not Death of the Outsider.
No, I mean I play that. It's great.
Yeah.
But I want them to continue it on. It's a great.
Mm-hmm.
I mean the story is like, it's whatever. But like the mechanics is just freaking awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I'm not one for steampunk, but that one, they did it well. I like it.
Yeah, they did do it well. I love the world and like the visuals of it all. How like it's like you're in an oil painting almost. It's really pretty.
Yeah. All right, man. So some people are gonna tune out just because like, are they gonna just talk about games? No, we're not. We're gonna talk about everything. It's just I like to talk about whatever. So hey, man. So like for people to get to know you, you know, right now you're at school at KSU. So what are you studying?
I'm studying journalism.
Yeah.
Yeah, propaganda.
What made you pick that study?
Well, I was a biology major first, and I was struggling with the classes. I had failed calculus, and I had this epiphany over the summer, and I was just like, I've been writing little short stories, and I've always found the news cycle interesting. I've always found just all of that stuff interesting. I was like, why am I not doing this? Mm-hmm. Why am I going for something that is just challenging me and I don't really see any reward in it? So I decided to switch, and I mean, it was one of the best decisions I made in my college career, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, my grades skyrocketed up.
Good, because you were passionate about it.
Right, yeah. And I started taking everything much more seriously too. And so, yeah, now I'm a senior. I've only got a few classes left. Looking forward to getting out of it, and just using it for myself. Really, I don't plan on working for anybody or any sort of news agency. I think it's, well, especially now, it's more worthwhile to focus on the internet and the opportunities that provides, because I think TV is kind of dying out, and radio as well. I mean, radio's nearly dead.
A comeback.
I mean, it is making a comeback with like the whole podcast thing, but it's all internet based.
Yeah,
it's not. No radio station is having shows just on the radio. Everything's also on streaming services as well. So it's like, it's a moot point, Yeah. It saved radio in a way. The internet.
It really did. Yeah, for sure. Because back then I was with just listening to Joe Rogan and stuff, and sometimes he'll talk about it, and Adam Carolla and all that. They would talk about how people who listen to the radio, majority of the demographics were people on their way to work and stuff, who just didn't listen to music or whatever. But then, so you would the demographics were basically the hardcore listeners, like your actual real fans. But now you get people that might tune into my show or whatever, that are just passing by and be like, oh, let me test it. Now there's millions of podcasts out there for every single subject. I don't want to limit myself to a theme kind of thing. I just want to talk about whatever, everything, serious, not serious, So you're right. The internet is, kind of reviving that. And what I like about this, especially, like, even though I'm recording this visual, you can still catch the audio version or the visual version if you want to sit down and watch it, or if you want to listen to it. I like how flexible it is.
Right.
So, because especially for a person like me, oh man, and I'm trying to get into, and we're going to talk about this a little bit later, like audiobooks. I'm starting to really wanting to dive into that, because there are moments where, I'm cooking, or I'm working out, or I'm doing something where I have to visually focus. But I'm like, man, I would love to listen to something. And I'm always listening to music, like literally 90% of my day.
Same.
Yeah. So like I always have my earphones in. Exactly. So I think people are starting to gravitate towards that where, oh yeah, if I can sit down and watch this podcast, I will. But I'm cooking right now, so I'll listen to it. Or they might watch it like, as they're chopping or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
I
I'll
do
just
that.
cast it to the TV.
Yeah.
And I'll listen to it in the background, and I'll just glance up
And
to the
you'll
video
glance
aspect
over.
of it every once in a while. But no, I mean, I've fallen in love with podcasting too. I mean, it's a great form of communication, and especially the longer it is, the better.
Yes.
Any sort of like long form conversation, like there was a podcast I was listening to. It was 4 hours long, and I got excited. I was like, hell yes.
Yeah. There's some people who do. I'm not knocking them because they're way more successful than me. But there'll be a podcast where it's 30 minutes long, and it's great. But I'll put it like, I'll listen to it later. But when I see something that's like 2 hours, I'm like, I'm prioritizing that. And I don't know, it's just so genuine. It flows better. I love it, man.
Well, it's like I took a podcasting class, and I know we've talked about this off the air, but I took a podcasting class, and it was just 3 podcasts. Each were 3 minutes long. It's like, what is this shit?
You're rushing through
exactly things. Like there's no conversation. It's just little sound bites. Boop, 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 and then you're done.
Yeah.
And it's, to me, that's the most boring podcast that you could listen to. It's like, all right, it's the length of a pop
speed
song.
Dating podcast.
Right. Yeah. But you don't get to know anything. Like, there's no amount of information that you can really cover in 3 minutes. It has to be longer form. Like, I want to hear your opinions. I want to hear the facts that back that up. I want to hear everything that you've got coming into this conversation in order to really have like a full idea. I want to see the gears
churning in your head. Like when, especially if you say something, like it's probably going to happen today. It's happened when I interview so far everybody. They'll say something I don't know, and I'll sit there and I'll digest it. Like, what? And I think people do enjoy that. I don't know, but like where your gears are turning, you're learning something. Yeah. But going back to what you said, like, you'll probably do it, kind of independently, like you're mainly doing it for yourself. I think this is just, I'm going to, kind of put my 2 cents in, because this is what I plan on doing, even though I'm going for the STEM field, is that I think you should work for an organization at first, at first. I think it's cool. There's nothing wrong with like, working for like a corporate company, whatever, building your resume, meeting some people, and also getting paid. That's the important part. And then using that money to invest in yourself, and then, do whatever you want. Because for me, for example, when I become a dental hygienist, don't get me wrong, I'm going to enjoy it. Whatever office I work, hopefully it's great. And I'm going to use that money to redirect towards the show, upgrade equipment and all that stuff, make it better. And, I don't see myself trying to quit being a hygienist and then doing the podcast full time. I don't see why I can't do both. But it'd be nice to, have that as well, have that avenue as well. But if it gets to the point where I have to pick and choose, like, oh, both are making money and both are fun, I'll probably, do the podcast, full time, so I can interview way more people and pull out more content, push out more content frequently. But there's nothing wrong with working for an avenue and redirecting that source of income towards that, to invest in it. I was telling a buddy of mine that too, he's a cinematographer, Steven, he's a cinematographer. Shout out to you, Steven. And so he's trying to do that. He's trying to independently work as well. He probably hate that I mentioned that, but but yeah, I don't see, if you wanted to do that with journalism, like work for an organization, get paid, and then use that to invest in yourself. That's just my opinion.
I mean, no, I hear you. I just think where a lot of news agencies are right now, I don't agree with how they're running.
Yeah, I feel you.
I think it's just more activism than anything else.
Oh my God, for sure.
And that's not who I am. And I'm also not
You don't want to support that kind of
right.
thing. Yeah.
I don't want to be a part of that. I don't want my name to be attached to that. Especially if I'm trying to build a career out of it. But I mean, there are other news agencies that I would be more willing to work for than other, and I'm sure I'm going to have to intern at some place in order to like get my foot in the door. And I mean, I'm leaving that part open. You know, I'm not going to turn down a job because you know what I'm saying. Like,
yeah,
I'll have to see it whenever it arrives. Cross that bridge when I get there. I'll cross that bridge when I get there. But yeah, I mean, I'm just such an independent person, and ever since middle school, I've seen podcasts come and go that got successful, millions of followers, and it just starts off on a couch at a desk like this, you know, whatever. And then I've also seen podcasts that start out independently and then sell out, and then nothing ever happens to it because they go corporate, you know, and then it just dies out.
I'm going to make this claim right here. I will always be independent. I will not sell out. If I'm like, you know, kind of verging on it, I need you to kick my ass and be like, no DJ, stop that. No, you got to stop that. But kind of funny because you mentioned desk. I just want to give you, appreciate you. So you were the one that told me to upgrade the desk. If people go back, please don't, because I'm so embarrassed, but I'm not going to take it down.
Go back.
Don't go back.
Go back.
Episode 0 and 1, I believe. I don't remember, but definitely episode 0 and episode 1. I had a small desk. It was actually this desk that I used, and you were like, "Hey man, I saw it. It was great. I just have one critique." And I was like, "Yeah, man, I'm open-minded. What's up?" You were like, "You need a bigger desk."
You do need a bigger desk.
Dude, you were so freaking right.
Yeah.
And this is what I wanted to mention too. I've mentioned this kind of before, but for those who don't know, like I was especially saying to my cousin last call. People should watch that interview. I think that's
a great guy. Shout out to him.
Shout out to Last Call. That it's such a cliche thing, but it's such a real thing. Oh man, like, okay, I'm not a successful podcaster. I hope to be, not yet. But anyways, but I don't need to be in order to know how should I get started on anything, not just podcast. Dude, just start.
You just gotta start.
Because it's things like that. Like, you have no idea. It's like, to other people, it's like, oh, he just told you to, you know, get a bigger desk. But the thing is, I never would have thought that unless you told me. But you would never have told me unless I started.
Right.
And that's the thing some people need to realize is right now people are on the verge of like, oh man, I kind of want to do this. I kind of want to do that. But they don't start. Just start, because they don't want to make a mistake. They want everything to go perfect. It's not going to go perfect, people. It's just not. You need to start, and then you're going to upgrade little things along the way. You're not going to see it. Other people are going to tell you. It's like, hey, you need to upgrade that. You telling me, and I practice what I preach, and you practice what you preach. You were like, you need a bigger desk. And I looked at it, and I was like, shit, Brady's right. I do need a bigger desk. Next day, I went to IKEA, bought this desk. Well, you told me to make one, which I do plan on one day.
It's always better to make your own
my
desk.
God, dude. I don't know if it's just being a stereotypical dude, but I do want to get into woodworking. Like, just seeing it on YouTube and how actually simple it is. Dude, you can learn so much on YouTube. But I was just like, dude, that looks cool. And you get to be proud of it. Like, I made this shit.
It's so rewarding. Dude, I made a very shitty desk. I made a very shitty desk. It's not stained properly. I mean, it still probably gives me splinters if I rub it the wrong way. But I made it. And I'm proud of it, and I still use it. It's completely functional.
Yeah.
It looks like trash, but it's a starting point. Like you said, I just did it.
You just have to start, and now you know your mistake.
Exactly.
And now you're gonna fix it later down the road.
And I could go back and sand it down again and restain it, and I'll know what I'll need to do. You know, glue the boards together and then screw it in after a day or two of it, letting it cure. But like you said, it's just a matter of doing it and then learning as you go along. Like, that's exactly what wisdom is. It's just knowledge plus experience. So you need that experience in order to put that knowledge into a practical use. And I mean, yeah, to me, it's so much more rewarding to saw the wood, nail it together, screw it together, stain it, paint it, whatever you want to do to it, rather than just putting it together with a hex key from IKEA.
Yeah.
I mean, IKEA is fine.
I love IKEA.
It's great. I've got IKEA furniture too. Like it's
freaking love IKEA.
Yeah, it's solid and it's easy and it's relatively budget friendly.
Yeah.
Depending on who you are and where you're at. But no, I mean,
and
it's
what you buy.
Yeah. I mean, it's great furniture. But at the end of the day, it's always better to make something for yourself. And that goes for anything.
Yeah, for sure. 100%. Like, I mean, I would love to, debate somebody about it. I just love IKEA. But there are certain things that I will 100% buy instead of making. Table, I'm not going to lie. First, I'll buy it and then I'll start to make, because I have that fear. You're just like eating something and then bam,
the whole table breaks.
You're just like, I fucking cooked that steak.
Yeah,
That's a freaking $50 steak. Oh.
No, that'd be pretty crappy. No, but I mean, even if you buy a table and then break it down, reverse engineer it, and then try and put it back together, just to see how it's all put together.
Yeah.
That's still just as good because you're learning.
Yeah.
Like, and you're doing something active rather than just like sitting behind a screen and like watching a YouTube video about it. You're actually like, all right, I'm going to spend 3 hours taking apart each piece of wood, organizing all the screws. And then whenever I'm done with that, I'm going to put it back together and see how much I remember. And see, is it just as sturdy? Is it more sturdy? Or did I fuck everything up?
Yeah. No, that's good. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like you said, it's just a matter of doing it.
No, and like I can't stress that enough. And it's funny because you just started working out recently, and now I'm willing to bet it's the same thing with that, like with an active lifestyle, where some people just honestly, no matter what it is, they're just like, how do I start?
Mm-hmm.
You just gotta start. Stop overthinking it. You just gotta start, because I mean, I'm just going to go back in circles. I always do, and people get annoyed by that, is that you really do see what you need to work on. Say you go out running one day. Man, I didn't run as much as I thought I would if only had water. I don't want to carry a water bottle. There's a Camel Pack. Buy a Camel Pack. Oh, look at that. But you wouldn't know that until you start. Now that you're working out, you're probably certain little things where it's like, man, I need more workout clothes.
Mm-hmm.
And then you invest in more workout clothes. Hey, I need to eat better. So you start trying to eat better. I need to do proper forms. So you look at ways to do proper. You just don't know these things until you start. And it makes you better.
Right.
And people are, yeah.
I mean, I worked out. Like I played football in middle school. I wrestled some in high school. So like I was in the weight room, mm-hmm. and I was there. So like I always knew proper form. I was trained. So it was never a problem for me, like knowing what to do or knowing how to get started. It was just a matter of going in there and doing it.
Yeah. Right.
But I mean, I can empathize with people who say, I've never been to the gym before. I don't want people to laugh at me because I'm pushing low weight, or my squat's shitty or whatever. But in my experience, just the fact that you're there and the fact that you're pushing yourself, no matter what you're doing, that's all that matters. And people can respect that. Mm-hmm. Like I've never seen anybody make fun of anybody else in the gym.
No, I don't know where that notion came from, because those
I think it was
are
just
some
TV.
of the nicest people. They want to help you.
Yeah. No, exactly. Like I've seen guys.
They don't want to see you get hurt.
And that's another thing. Yeah.
You're doing something in poor form. They're like, listen, I don't want to see you.
You're going to break your spine.
Yeah, exactly. Like you're trying to do a deadlift and you just like, I don't want to see that. So here's the proper way to do it. Yeah, I don't know where this notion came from. And it's funny because like Planet Fitness used to have like this commercial where it's basically shaming people who are like, that they know what they're doing. It's like, oh, Planet Fitness, you don't need to know what you're doing. It's like,
the lunks.
the lunk alarm. Yeah, it's like, dude, it's okay. There's nobody like that. Like, haha, look at this. Maybe there is. I'll be fair. Maybe there is. That's a very small number. I'll go ahead and say.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure. Yeah. That's what I was saying. In my personal experience, I've never seen anybody make fun of anybody else in the gym.
No.
I've seen people make fun of other people outside of the gym, sure. But not while they're focused on their own workout and you're focused on your own workout.
Doing their own thing, man.
Yeah. I mean, and like you said, like if somebody needs a spot, I've seen guys run over and help them out. Like, get this weight off of you. Like, let's talk about it. Let's see what you're doing wrong.
I felt embarrassed. There was a press. It was years ago. I was bench pressing, and someone was like, "You need a spot," and I was like, "No."
Yeah. No, I've done it too, man. Yeah. I've done it too. I've gotten stuck in the leg press machine because I put on too much weight because I was a cocky little son of a bitch.
Yeah.
And then you just crumple like a little ball. Like, all right, I need help. Yeah.
Yeah, I need help.
Yeah. I mean, it happens, but that's a good learning opportunity for you. One, to not overdo it, because it's always better to just do a normal workout and to not push yourself with a bunch of weights and rip muscles and tear something, or strain yourself, because then you're going to be out for weeks at a time.
And then when you recover, chances are you probably don't want to go back.
Right. It's you're traumatized. You don't want to do it. Yeah. So, it's best just to take it easy. The fact that you're there is all that matters. Just have a good workout, enjoy it, focus on how you feel, and then go and eat good food afterwards or before, and that's really the most important thing that I need to focus on is my nutrition.
Yeah. I will say, I stumbled across this video a while back ago. And I like how this guy put it. He and I told you a little bit about this, is that if you're going to cook chicken, steak, fish, whatever protein, try to have like 3 different variations of that recipe, like 3 different chicken recipes. That way you don't tire yourself out. And if anything, it makes you look forward to that meal.
Right.
And so I definitely have done that. People have this notion where, meal prepping, it's like this bland food, just basic salt and pepper seasoning on a chicken or a steak. If you want to do that, and
go for it.
It
doesn't have to be like that.
It doesn't have to be like, you can make your food, healthy food, flavorful and all that stuff.
Right.
And like I said before, my mom and YouTube are the 2 greatest teachers for me to learn how to cook. And yeah, I now have plenty of recipes under my belt where, if I want to make, awesome chicken, awesome steak, I can, and change it up and it still be healthy. Yeah. And meal prepping or / eating right doesn't have to be the hardest thing. I understand it, why for some people. I'm not going to say like, oh, it's super easy. No, I understand it could be the hardest thing, but it doesn't have to be.
It just takes a little creativity. It's like you can cook a ton of chicken breasts and vegetables and everything and put them in little boxes and everything. And then the day that you eat them, you'd be like, you know what? I'm going to reheat this, shred it up, and put it in a taco. Or I'm going to put it over rice today or whatever, or anything like that. Let's add a little pasta today and see how that is. A little sauce, whatever you want, really. It just takes a little creativity and a little bit of time as well. And that's another thing, is I think a lot of people just feel like they don't have time. And it's quicker just to get in the car and run down to the whatever fast food joint's closest and get some of that, rather than spending 15 minutes heating up the pan and, taking care of the chicken or whatever you're cooking. And
it's also the dishes.
Cleaning up afterwards. I was just about to say, yeah.
I lucked out. Like, I don't mind cleaning. It's therapeutic to me. There's nothing wrong with using the dishwasher. I like hand washing.
Waste water.
Dishwasher? Yeah.
No. Hand washing.
No, I actually know this dishwasher.
Could you turn it off?
Yeah, because you can turn it off. So my old roommate, he uses dishwasher. I don't care what you do. All right, just don't
come at you.
Don't come at me like you're better
like
than me
I
or something.
did.
So I love him to death. I'm not gonna mention who he is, but he'll probably know. He was saying, "Why do you hand wash when you use the dishwasher?" I didn't know this. I didn't care. I was like, oh, it's therapeutic. I like it. And he was like, I think you waste more water. And again, not doing my research, I was like, I don't think so because I could always turn off the water. And he has the Google Homes and all that. And he was like, hey, Google, like, how much water on average do you use on a dishwasher? It uses, I think, if I'm remembering this correctly, around 6 gallons of water.
Mm-hmm.
And depending on the load. But we said average. And then he was like, all right, what's the average on hand washing? It's like 1 gallon.
Oh, really?
Maybe. Again, depending on the load, on average, it was like maybe 2 gallons. If I'm remembering this correctly, if you ask Google right now, what's the average? I should say it right now. Hey, Google, what's the average for a dishwasher water usage?
Anybody that's got one in their house is so pissed off at you right now.
They have it on speaker. That'd be hilarious. Somebody let me know if that happened. I'm gonna be so happy with it.
Put it in the comments.
Let us know how pissed off you are.
Yeah.
But yeah, so again, on average, hand washing you save more water. But again, I don't give a shit. Like, I'm not winning anything. I'm not gaining any money from this.
You don't give a shit about the earth.
Exactly. What? So anyway, so going back to it, it's more convenient. I get it. I like hand washing. It's therapeutic for me. But going back to it, I timed myself one time because I was curious. I made like 6 salmon and rice for all of them. And I timed myself. It took me, with the rice, because the rice takes the most time, it took me roughly 2 hours to cook everything. Mm-hmm. You could set 2 hours aside to cook for the rest of the week. You really could. It just depends on if you want to.
Yeah.
And then if somebody, again, gets turned off because of the dishes, there's the dishwasher.
I'm lucky enough. I mean, I used to live, in a house with some other guys, and I would cook way more. But now that I've moved back in with my parents, there's always something in the fridge. There's always like leftovers. There's always, and it's good leftovers too, like solid chicken breasts, pork chops, whatever, vegetables, fruits, anything. A ton of eggs. They buy a ton of eggs, which is awesome for me because I love eggs. But I've started to cook less, but I want to start cooking like for my entire family. So that way I'm just doing it more and more and have like a variety of meals, like whatever they want. Just like, let me cook it. And I may mess it up, honestly, because I'm not the best cook in the world. Yeah. But I'm trying, So
I've messed up before. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Again,
burn toast.
You kind of have to in order to learn. Mm-hmm. My most embarrassing fuck up was I was in charge of making mac and cheese for Thanksgiving. And I made it one time before and it came out perfectly. This was my second attempt. And I decided to change like one little way. I didn't change the recipe. I just changed the way I cooked it. And I'm glad I fucked up because I realized, no, don't do it. Do it the way you did it the first time. But yeah, I'm glad I had that fuck up so I know.
What'd you do? Did you add like brie or something that you had the wrong cheese? You added goat cheese to mac and cheese.
Ew, God. No, I decided to start the mixing process. It takes like, to make the mac and cheese to serve like, 10 people, it takes roughly 2 hours, 3 hours, around there. I decided to split it in half. Like, I'm going to do half the mixing and then the other half the next day.
Oh, yeah. That seems
don't do
like
that.
A pretty big deal.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah.
Commit to it.
Yeah, you just got to do it all at once.
Yeah. I don't know what I was thinking. I thought I thought I was going to save time.
I thought you were about to say that you like added all the cheese and like the milk and stuff while the noodles were still dry. Like Dom, you can't do that. You gotta boil the macaroni first.
Yeah.
But no, I get it. Yeah, I mean, I probably messed up making cereal before, but it's just the way that it goes. You just gotta do it.
Why is this cereal too crunchy?
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot the milk. Like, that's it.
Or it's just a bowl of milk and no cereal. Yeah.
Where's the crunch? You forget the spoon. It's
Yeah.
like, I'm not supposed to eat this with my hands.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, you gotta mess up.
That's the moral for this podcast. Is everybody messes up and you just got to deal with it.
You just gotta deal with it. I'm
Life
glad
is shit.
yeah. There's not like a mistake in the world. Or for me, I'm trying to think of a mistake I've done that like I hardcore regret. Like, no, man, I wish I did. No.
I mean, I've definitely said the wrong things, and
I don't give a shit about that.
some people do.
Yeah, if somebody tries to pull up something I've said 10 years ago and tries to cancel me, bring it on. That's all
I mean that's different, but I'm just talking like in front of a girl, like someone that you like, and you're just like just stuttering.
I
you say a really bad joke.
My shows too,
and it just ruins everything.
Oh, for sure, but in a way, I appreciate that because it makes me go like, all right, I have no chance with that girl, but I'm gonna learn for the next time. Yeah.
Until it happens again.
So every single mistake, I don't know, to a degree, yeah, like, oh, I wish I didn't do that. Like, that's normal, but I appreciate every single mistake because I've just gotten better.
Yeah, they're just like little lessons. That's how I look at it. Everything's like a little challenge you just got to deal with.
Let me tell you this story since you brought up girl. I'm not gonna say who this is because he will know. It is a he though. Oh my god, hold on. This is just
you got to get it together, man.
It's the funniest fucking thing. Oh my god. So people are gonna cringe. It's not me. I promise. It wasn't me. I'll admit it. I have no shame.
Yeah.
If I fuck up on something, I'll let you know. This is just one of my favorite things. One of my favorite stories. So I have a buddy, that he was super shy. This was when we were like in our early 20s again, and I wasn't around. I just heard this story through the grapevine, but I can imagine this. Super shy dude finally summons the courage to talk to a girl. I don't know where he's out with like friends and family out to like dinner or whatever. And he's talking to this one girl. I'm sorry. I'm not a great storyteller. He goes up to her and says, and now I'm changing the name because it doesn't matter. But anyways, he goes up to a girl and says, "Hey, what's your name?" And she says, "Becky." And he's like, "Becky, you look like a Sarah." It's my favorite fucking story. And then it's like,
it goes nowhere. Absolutely nowhere.
What are you supposed to say after that?
Like, I could see that working if you did someone prominent. Like, oh, you look like Megan Fox, you know? Like, I thought I was talking to Megan Fox. Maybe if she has a good sense of humor about it. But you can't just, you can't do that. Yeah.
You look like a Sarah.
You look like a...
Girl tells you her name.
Oh, you look like a Connor.
Oh, man, you just go for a macho dude's name.
Yeah. What's up, Bryce?
Oh, look like an Andrew.
Yeah. Oh, that's so funny.
It's one of my favorite fucking stories. But I'm pretty sure that I can't remember, but I'm pretty sure he doesn't do that anymore.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure
he
fucked up and it was like, yeah, that was a little bad. Never gonna do that again. You gotta fuck up sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god. He's gonna watch it. If he watches it, he's gonna hit me up and be like, "Why'd you tell that story?" I was like, "I didn't mention your name though."
It's a funny anecdote, and I'm sure it's happened to multiple guys too. Like positively, thousands of guys have done dumb shit like that.
Ooh, I remember one that, just to be fair, like just so I can put for me. Man, I'm not proud of this, but I don't care. I laugh at myself. It was in high school. It was a homecoming dance, and this girl. I mean, I wasn't really into her or anything, but like, whatever. And she comes up to our group, and then she's like, man, there are 3 other girls in this homecoming dance that are wearing the same thing I'm wearing. And I was like, oh, you're lucky. Nice.
Wow. Yeah.
That's cool.
Uh-huh.
And then she just like looked at me with the death glare like, are you fucking kidding me?
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know at the time. And then later a buddy told me, he was like, no, girls don't want to match with other girls like that. And I was like, yeah, I can see that. All right, fucked up. And
yeah,
every now when that memory comes back, I just cringe a little. And I'm just like, what?
I'm trying to think of something that I've said that's bad like that. I'll tell you, since you talked about homecoming, the prom that I went to was pretty embarrassing.
Oh,
so they had us all like walk out on like this certain route, and they would like announce our names, and you're supposed to give the girl a flower and take a picture and all that. Well, oh my God. So it was our turn, and for some reason I was just so focused on just walking that I completely forgot everything else. So I go out and I'm just speed walking right past the flowers. There's a crowd of parents sitting in the bleachers at like the gymnasium. They're like, turn around, get the flower, you gotta get the rose. And the girl that I'm with is like, are you gonna get the flower? I'm like, no, we're just going. Like, we have to commit now. And and we go and take the picture, and yeah, and I mean the dance was fine, and I eventually I stole a rose from another guy. I'm pretty sure they just like left it on the table, and I grabbed it, and so she ended up getting her flower. But yeah, I'll always remember that. Just like everybody in the stands going, turn around, you got to get the flower. And I'm like, fuck this. No, we're going. We're just committing to it. Like,
you know what? I can respect that though. You know, just, I fucked up. I'm committing.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I mean, no, exactly. Yeah. I'm not going to turn my back on all these people. I'm just going to face them. Take the picture and get out of here. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Nobody else did it too. I was watching like a fucking hawk trying to make sure that some other guy forgot the rose, and all of them remembered to do it. You were the only one? I was the only one.
Because they saw you and like, don't do what that guy did.
Yeah. Don't be that fucker. Yeah. But.
Oh, man.
That girl ended up being crazy, so.
There you go.
Yeah, what can you do?
Oh God, that's how all stories end. That girl ended up being crazy. So.
Yeah, they ended up just really screwing each other over. So
I wonder if anybody will ever admit it's like at the end of the day I was the one that was crazy. Not sure. I doubt it. Crazy one.
I doubt it.
Yeah, she was fine. I was the fucking problem.
I mean, I believe people can change, but if you're that crazy. And you still come back and you're like, no, okay, yeah, I was the one that was nuts. You must not have been that crazy to begin with. Yeah, I'd say. But like, I don't know. I'm trying to think of another anecdote. Yeah, I mean that's just we'll have to do it on a later episode because it's too much.
Oh man, but on the same topic, okay. I kind of want to say this just to have it on record, and I'm not gonna out anybody. It's just I just want to say this. I'm real. I'm authentic. I don't want to pander. But so, if you disagree with, I'd rather you disagree with me. I want to talk to somebody that disagrees with me.
I mean, I can play devil's advocate either way. So
okay, perfect. We'll try to, but at the same time, if you agree, you agree. But all right, because we did talk a little bit about this off air a couple, like last month or whatever. To an extent, like it's okay to be shy, but to an extent, like you got to get over that shit.
Yeah.
Like and when I say this, I'm mainly talking about dudes. I'm not talking about girls. I'm talking about dudes. Like you guys. If you're shy right now and if you're shy and you're a teenager watching this, and to an extent, it's excusable. If you're in your young 20s, again, to an extent, it's excusable. But if you're fucking 30, like almost 30, like, I'm sorry, you got to cut that shit out.
Yeah, it's almost traumatic at that point. I mean, like you said, I understand. I mean, I was a shy kid up to a point, but at the same time, it's like late teens, early 20s. That's when you're at your most impulsive.
Yeah.
That's when you're at your peak in like terms of health and everything. So why not go out and take risks?
Mm-hmm.
Why not see everything that is there for you, right? And instead of just like sitting at home and I mean, it's just no way to live.
It's not, and it's funny because I'm not even just talking about girls. I'm just talking about in general. Like, what if you're at like Home Depot or something, or Walmart, and it's like, oh man, I need to reach that, but it's out of my reach. Well, get an associate.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to talk to anybody.
Yeah, like, I can't ask for help.
Really?
Yeah.
It's like, it's right there. All you need to do is just talk to somebody, a stranger who works here, and it's their job to get it for you.
Mm-hmm.
Really? That's going to stop you? But also with girls too. And like, and it sucks because I do have friends who are like that, and, you know, like I'll welcome them with, you know, open arms and all that stuff. But I do want to let them know, it's just like, listen, if you're shy and you're, you know, 21, I'll give you a pass to an extent. If you come up to me and you're the same age as me, 28,
and you can't make eye contact, you're just like,
yeah,
hey Dom, hey, yeah,
I'm gonna be like, dude, you
gotta get out of that.
Like, yeah, like you just do. And so I was talking to a buddy of mine about it, and this is what I came up with. And I'm not right or anything. I'm not a fucking professional or anything. Is that in high school, middle school, high school, whatever, your first job, I think those are your testing grounds, especially in high school. Because this is what I said, in terms of girls, like guys trying to, you know, go for girls and all that stuff, is that you're either the funny guy, the smart guy, the jock, the whatever. You're trying to find what guy are you,
right?
And I was insecure about my looks. Like, you know, I'm not anymore, but
shit, every guy is. Every
guy is. I mean, to an extent, you like kind of knock it though. Like I know I'm not no freaking, you know, I'm trying to say like a model.
You're not Johnny a superhero. Depp. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like I know I'm not a Johnny Depp. It's like, all right, cool. I'm not trying to act like that. But in high school, I was trying to find what I was, and then I sort of started becoming like, oh, I'm just a funny guy. Like I'll be that silly funny guy, and so I tried to excel at that. Every guy should try. And don't get me wrong, I didn't know right off the bat I'm gonna be the funny guy. I try to be the tough guy. I try to be the, oh, let me try to act like I'm super confident, like I'm the hottest thing in the world. Failed that miserably. Then I found my niche. Like, all right, I'm the funny guy. I'm gonna try to excel at that. And what ended up happening was I gained confidence through that. But I've had awkward moments, like how we were just talking about with girls. Everybody has awkward moments. We all failed at points, but you learn from them. And then when I've gotten like my first job and being around other women and stuff, not from school, now, you know, you have to play the field a different way. Every single field I've been in just forced me to either double down on the funny guy or be some other guy. But overall, I was trying to better myself. I was trying to find where I was comfortable, where I was confident. And through all of that made me, you know, not shy. And I did acting and stuff, so that kind of also helped.
Yeah, that does help.
I don't know, but the point I'm trying to get at is that in high school and in your first job, in college, whatever the case may be, you need to put yourself in these situations. And yeah, it's okay. You're still trying to find yourself. Excuse me. You're still trying to find yourself. It's your job to put yourself in all these different situations to see where you excel, you know, and at the end of the day, try to talk to girls or not be as shy. I don't know. But I guess in the end of the day, to an extent, it's kind of not okay to be shy once you're like, fucking 30, especially 40.
No, I agree with you. I agree with you completely.
There's a difference between being confident and antisocial. Like, I can talk to anybody. I just don't want to.
Yeah, and I think that's where it starts to go whenever you start to get older, is like it goes from being shy to just being antisocial.
Yeah.
Like you start to have some sort of resentment for everybody else around you. And so you're like, well, screw it. I'm just going to stay at home because nobody wants to talk to me anyways. And that's just not a good mindset to have.
It's not, no.
Because all that's going to do is just lead to even more negativity. And then you're just going to be caught in a downward spiral. I mean, I was shy, but I still knew how to talk to people to a certain extent. I mean, I wasn't really confident, but I could go up to somebody and strike up a conversation if I had the energy to. Mm-hmm. Like, I remember there's this one instance. I was at a wrestling tournament and there was this girl wrestler there and she was about to go like wrestle on the mat right next to mine. And so I just went up to her. I was like, hey, have a good fight. Give it your all. And she's like, yeah, hey, thanks. You too. And there was actually a guy in my weight class that came up to me later and he was like, how'd you do that? And I was like, what do you mean? How did I do what? He's like, how'd you just go up to her and talk to her? I was like, I just said, have a good match. Like, yeah. What are you talking about? It's not like we were having a 30-minute conversation about the nature of God.
Yeah.
We weren't talking about politics.
Yeah.
I just, hey, have a good one. That's really it.
That's it.
And I could kind of see it click in his head. He was like, oh, it's just a normal conversation. Like, I don't have any intentions to do anything. There's no ulterior motive. Yeah. It's just thumbs up. Have a good one. May the best person win.
Yeah. If anything, right there, it could have been like, hey, have a good match. I'm a little nervous. Oh, no, don't be. You got this. I really appreciate that. Like, you have any tips? Oh, I try to do that. There you go. There's a conversation right there.
She probably has some tips for me.
Yeah.
And power to her, Like,
but the whole point is it starts with have a good match.
Yeah.
That's it.
And that was sophomore year, and I was way less confident. I think the thing that made me the most confident, and I was talking to my manager about this, was just the restaurant industry. Is like meeting new people every day and talking to them and having to make them laugh. And especially whenever your money revolves around it, like giving good service or being a good bartender, that has made me entirely more confident than anything else, I think. And it was almost like a completely different person whenever I started working versus just like being in high school. And like, to me, it's not a problem of being shy. Like, you can be shy as long as you know how to take risks.
Okay, that's good. Yeah.
Right? Like, you can be a quiet, person, but still go out and take risks and learn how to handle the disappointment, learn how to handle rejection and everything, and be a completely normal person and just be shy as well. Like, I'm not the most talkative guy unless I know somebody like I know you.
Yeah.
And we're having like a decent conversation, right? But yeah, it's just a matter of of knowing, you're like, all right, yeah, it's a little risky situation, but I'm going to go for it because that's all that matters. And whatever comes of it, just the fact that I'm going for it is all that matters. And it goes back to the point that we made, 30 minutes ago? You just got to do it.
You just got to do it.
You just got to do it. You just got to keep on walking. Like, there's no other option. You just got to keep moving, keep your head up, have a smile on your face, just keep going. And it's not going to be easy. It's definitely been hard for me, especially the smiling part, because I'm a pretty depressive guy. I'm a pretty sad boy, typically, but it's just something that you got to do.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, like you said, I can empathize with people who are shy to a certain extent.
Yeah.
But you also just need to throw caution to the wind every now and then. You just gotta do it.
The thing I like, it's mainly, I've heard this in the restaurant industry, but I mean, I like it in general. Be a duck. You ever heard that before?
Mm-mm.
I like the saying. Be a duck. And I think about it.
Make that bread. Get that bread.
That could be a thing too, but no, the way the person said it, it was like when you see a duck in the water, it looks calm, it looks majestic, but underwater,
the feet are going. Yeah.
So it's like be calm on the surface. Inside, you're screaming like, "Oh fucking no!" Like especially at the restaurant, like I'll be like, moving around, but like outside, I look like, oh, I know what I'm doing. Definitely... Inside, I'm just like, someone shoot me.
Mm-hmm.
But so it's one of the greatest things I've ever heard is like, be a duck, and not necessarily just with restaurant. You could apply it to everything in life, and
that's a good one.
I've been shy, of course. Everybody's been shy, and I don't think I fully knocked it. Like I think I fully knocked it when I was like maybe around 22. I don't know. I can't remember. Like there wasn't like a profound situation. I just think it was around there because I've been a very confident dude for a long time now. So I think, like I don't know. Yeah, it doesn't matter. But yeah, no, I sympathize. Yeah,
I was just gonna say it's a gradual change. Like it doesn't happen overnight.
No,
it's something that you get literally going to the grocery store and asking for help. Hey, where's this certain can of beans? I need this certain can of beans. Or just admitting whenever you messed up. Hey, I broke this shelf. I need your help fixing it, or I need to go get my car's oil changed and I got to talk to the mechanic and maybe laugh at one of his dumb jokes or something. Or yeah, exactly. It's little gradual steps like that. And you just work your way up.
Yeah. A buddy of mine who's, he was more of a ladies man than me. He, not that I'm a ladies man. I like what he told me. It was one of the greatest advice was that when he was trying to get me out of my comfort zone, whatever, he said, "What are you afraid of?" And I was just like, I don't know. I'm afraid of getting rejected, I guess, and feeling embarrassed, feeling stupid. And he said, okay, but understand that like the worst thing a girl can say is no. That's it. Mm-hmm. And 99% of the time, she's going to be really nice about it. Like, hey, appreciate it, but not interested. They're done. It's over.
Yeah.
That's the worst that's ever going to happen as far as rejection. She's not going to stab you. She's not going to steal all your money. She's not going to break your car. She's just going to say no. That's it. You need to grasp that and understand, like, once you have accepted that that's the worst that it's honestly ever going to be, and you just need to move forward. Use that information to however you like. And it was so true. It took me a minute to digest. But yeah, when I would, just talk to a girl and be, I'm interested, and let her know. And then, she'll reject me and I'm like, yeah, that was the worst. That's it. Like, I still got my health. I still got my money. Like, life is still going on. All right, cool. And then after that, that's one of the things that broke my shyness, was accepting that was the worst possible scenario, honestly. And it's just her saying no. And it wasn't a big deal. And I moved on. And that was it.
Yeah. I mean, generally, I think the pain that you're going to put yourself through will be worse than just the initial conversation of being rejected. But I also think generally, if you get to a point where you're older and you haven't had much experience with women,
oh, it probably sucks.
It will get harder and harder, and women will get harsher and harsher because they know what to expect, right? Like high school is much different from graduate school, right? Like if you're meeting a girl in high school, yeah, they're going to be pretty soft with you, right? I mean, there's a chance they may be like, no, you smell bad, you're gross, right? Like, and that's it. And you realize what you got to change. But graduate school, and you still smell bad, I mean, they're gonna let you know.
Yeah,
they're gonna really let you know, and that's gonna hurt. But it's a chance for growth. Mm-hmm. It's an opportunity to go, okay, maybe I should take a shower and brush my teeth before I go and talk to some girl.
If you made it all that way to graduate, you have other problems.
Dude, people do.
That is true.
People do.
Oh,
and
I'm shit talking now.
Yeah, but I think generally your weaknesses more than everybody else, and you're going to pick at those weaknesses before anybody else even knows what you're doing. Right. So like if I'm upset at myself or something, I'm going to tear myself down and it's going to hurt, versus somebody else saying something to me, giving me some sort of criticism. I'm able to handle that so much more, so much better. Mm-hmm. At least that's my experience. I know everything's subjective and it's harder to hear things from somebody that you really like. And I've been there too. Right, like
I've learned to really appreciate it. Honestly.
Yeah, I mean, I have too. But whenever you spend a lot of time talking to somebody and texting somebody, and like I remember in high school, like I was all about this girl. Like sat next to her in class and everything, and even took her out on a date. Led nowhere. And yeah, I'm cool with that. It's like, okay, yeah, it happened. Mm-hmm. It's just the way that it goes. And you just got to walk with it. Mm-hmm. You just got to be like, all right, and pick up the pieces and learn from it and move on to the next. And that's another part of accepting like the risk, is like, yeah, maybe I could have said something better. Maybe I could have done something, a little bit more romantic or whatever, or less romantic, whatever. But
that was way
over the line.
Romantic.
Yeah, way over the line.
I told her I loved her the first time I met her. Like, hey, maybe tone it down a bit. Yeah,
I was writing long poetry and shit. Like, but hey, it's a part of life. Yeah. It's just the way it goes. So you just got to learn how to handle it. And you got to know yourself and know your capabilities. And yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think of like a good practical.
I want to have a girl on the show, one of my friends, and one day I will, and just ask her like, hey, like, how would you want a guy to approach you in a sense? Because I know some guys that are shy are. That's one thing that they're beating. I had a friend of mine tell me this, where it's like, I'll be honest, I don't know how to approach him. Like, what do I say? And like, yeah, you said with the match, even though you weren't interested, you didn't have like an ulterior motive. You were just like genuine. Hey, have a good match. That's it. And yeah, people really, really do be overthinking it. It's just like.
Yeah, that's another thing. You got to get out of your head.
You fucking say hi. Just be nice. Just don't be creepy. In a way, women can sense that. I know. Oh, yeah. Like, if you're creepy or you're super shy, it's weird.
That's
like,
what's...
Hi. It's like, dude, just be calm. Like, it...
Luckily,
they're not going to stab you.
Luckily, yeah. Like, that story that I just told happened pretty early on in my adolescence. And I'm sure I was a little creepy, but like you get out of that, right? Oh, and that's what's bad now is like watching guys our age become creepy. Like, dude, you gotta back up. Mm-hmm. Like you gotta take a completely different approach to this shit because it is not working. Yeah. That is like nothing makes my skin crawl more than that. Like it's so bad.
Oh man. If I ever have a son and he gets to that point, I'm going to tell him, I might mess with him a little bit, be like, nah, man, I was a player. What are you talking about? Like, wow, you're weird. Are you sure, my kid? But no, I'm going to tell him, it's like, no, dude, there's nothing that you've done that I cringed what I'd done. Like the first 10 girls I talked to, I was figuring out something. I didn't get it right.
If it's not keeping you up at night... Yeah, you're doing something wrong.
That's a good one. Wow. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, that's a good one.
Because like there's a lot of stuff where I'm just like, fuck, why? How did I even get away with doing stuff like that? Mm-hmm. Like, why? I should have been I should have been bullied so much harder than what I actually was. Like
you go to your high school reunion, you're like, you guys should have bullied me way more. I don't deserve to get away with that. What are you talking about?
But yeah, I mean, it's true, man. Like, if you don't have cringy moments like that, then you're doing something wrong, in my opinion.
Oh, my God. Yeah. Everybody has to have a cringy. That's what makes you, I'm sorry, normal. People can be like, oh, that's not politically correct, normal. No, you know what I mean. Shut up. Yeah, everybody has to have cringy moments.
It's just a fact of life. Yeah. You can't get away from it. 3 things are constant in this world: death, taxes, and cringy moments. So,
Fuck. Damn. Oh, fuck. That sucks.
That's
that
a part
sucks.
of growth. Yeah.
There's going to be somebody out there be like, no, I don't have a cringy moment. But and you can stay the fuck away from me.
Exactly. It's like, motherfucker, you're a sociopath. Then, like, if you're that sure of yourself, then yeah, I don't want to know you.
Yeah, so I mean, that's all I wanted to say. It's just like, I mean, I'm glad we had this talk of shyness. It's like, listen, I'm not trying to hate on you, but if you're a young person, if you come up to me and be like, hey, DJ, I'm still pretty shy. How old are you? I'm 18. You're fine.
Give it some time.
But
take small risks.
It's good that you know that and slowly work at it. You're not going to be unshy 19, maybe. Who knows? Maybe you're a miracle. But work on it.
Mm-hmm.
That's all. You come up to me, hey, man, I'm so shy. You look old. Yeah, I'm like 45.
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you, man. I'm not a therapist.
You're a lost cause.
Yeah, I don't want to say that, but it's like,
no,
don't come up to
cause.
me. I don't know. You know what I'm going to say. It's like,
quit watching anime. Yeah.
Oh, God. Except I watch anime sometimes.
But you're not 45.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
So here, let's switch it up a bit.
All right.
Do you follow any journalists kind of thing?
Somewhat.
What makes a great journalist? Like, do you
in my opinion?
Yeah. No, the world's opinion.
Well, the world's opinion right now.
Oh, fuck the world's opinion. I was just kidding.
Well, I was just saying,
okay.
It's, like we said before, it's a lot of activism.
Yeah.
Truth to power, right? But I don't agree with that. Like, I think journalists should hold those who are in higher positions to the fire. Like to me, journalism is about informing the public about what's going on beneath the surface, especially whenever it comes to our leaders and to our culture and to how everything is shifting. I think it's not about making everyone feel comfortable. It's about telling the truth.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's about writing a good story is important, of course, because you want people to be invested in it. You want people to read it. So it's important to be a good writer and to know what the story is about before you even start it, right? To have like a solid plan. So that way you don't get lost in the weeds. Mm-hmm. But I think it should have an underlying message of, this is wrong and we're here to tell you about it so we can all fix it together, right? Like,
that's a good, especially like that last part, so we can fix it together.
Right.
I feel like, and this is just my dumb opinion, I feel like now people want to point out bad things that you did and hold it over your head and not have you fix it.
Just to ruin you.
Yeah, kind of with that whole cancel culture, like, here's what you said 10 years ago and stuff. Like, I have proof that you said this bad thing 10 years ago. And it's like, all right, cool. Did I say that now? Like, all right. Like, you don't want me to fix it. It seems like you just kind of want to beat me up about it. Kind of want to smear me about it. Am I doing that bad thing now? No. Mm-hmm. That's why, in a way, like, I mean, I'm not going to run a politically correct show. I might say things that are politically incorrect. I don't give a shit. People are mad that I even cuss right now. It's like, all right, cool. Do you pay my bills? It was like, no, I don't care. So, with that being said, you know, I welcome that. I can't wait till somebody, I hope I become famous enough to the point where they're like, look what this DJ said 10 years ago. Just so I can not apologize and be like, yeah, I said that. Yeah. 10 years ago, I said that. Did I say that now? No? All right, cool. Move on. Yeah. Let's go.
We all grow. We all change. Our opinions change every day, probably. So it's like, especially me. Why even bring it up? Like, it's all so far behind you.
Give me a time machine. Let me see if I'll fix it. I won't out of spite because it's pissing you off, which actually makes me smile. The fact that I'm pissing somebody off by just being myself. That's awesome. So, you know.
But yeah, I mean, people are going to get mad either way. People are going to get upset because the truth is hard to handle. And a lot of people can't handle it, especially nowadays.
Yeah, that is so true.
But it's still very important to do so. And especially now, because it's so rare. Like, I can really only think of Glenn Greenwald is one journalist who's pretty popular, but he's actually doing good work and like exposing corruption for what it is and talking about it and finding large government scandals, specifically in Brazil, that, I mean, it would just ruin the politicians. And I'm pretty sure it's the president of Brazil that, you know, it's important to hear, and the people need to hear it because they deserve to be informed. And like, personally for me, I believe all information should be free. I believe that nothing should be censored except for active military engagements that need to be hidden in order to work properly. Right. But I think after a certain point, we should know about it. Like, we should hear what our brothers and sons had to go and do in order to protect and serve our country, right? Like,
and daughters, you sexist bastard.
Well, yeah. I mean, I was talking more about like historically, right? No. Like stuff from the Cold War. Yeah. You know, like what were they doing? Because a lot of that stuff is still blacklisted. Like, you can't access stuff like that. What's the CIA been up to? You know, like really been up to? I think all that stuff is important to know because we're active citizens of this country. We're putting these people in power. We're voting for people, you know, we're keeping them in power. I mean, the CIA, obviously, you don't vote people in for the CIA, but they're working for us. Yeah. It's for the people, by the people. So it should be, we should be telling the truth. And that's something that I really want to focus on. And that's another reason why I don't want to work for a corporation that is just going to spout lies and propaganda and activism. I mean, you know, there's no point to me. Just to make people feel good I don't want to do that. I want to educate people, you know, and I want to help people out. Oh, yeah, and do that by showing them the way, even if it hurts.
This is the way.
Yeah.
No, yeah. Kind of. I mean, that's powerful shit, man. Kind of with the truth. It does suck how. I mean, I know, like, as an individual, sometimes you like to think, oh man, you know, if the world was like me, things would be, you know, solid. I love the truth, even if it fucking hurts. If it hurts, oh my God, the more the better. Because it makes me better. I mean, if it comes from a place of love, like somebody, again, the table is like such a small but perfect example. When you said, hey man, you need a bigger table, it came from a place of love. You cared. And you weren't trying to hurt my feelings. But at that moment, you didn't know how I was going to take it, but you didn't care. You were just like, he needs to know. That's it. And it's to improve. In your mind, you didn't care about my feelings. You didn't care about anything. You saw improvement. Like, hey, this truth is an improvement. Just like the guy who he didn't know me motivated me to start this podcast. He was yelling at me. He was cussing me out. He was like, dude, just do it. Don't be a little bitch. Do it. Like, the only person holding you back is you. And he was right. He didn't care about my feelings. And I mean, I know it's so cliche to say, where, you know, to tell people it's like, oh man, you just need to suck it up. I get it. The truth hurts. There is some form of sting to it, but you need to learn to embrace that because it really does make you better.
Oh yeah. And like, I know you know this because you and I are pretty tight, but like, I mean, I was hiding from my truth for a long time. And just recently, it all hit me like a brick wall. And it sucker punched me. And there's no other choice but to embrace it. Yeah. Like, I was on a split path and I could either go one way or the other. And it was very clear to me that one way was the wrong way. And I had to accept my actions and the wrongdoings that I was performing in order to continue to move on and to live my personal truth. Yeah. And I would think it would be so unfair for me to get into a position where I am telling people information like that and then lying to myself at the same time. Like, it's just so hypocritical that.
That's what pisses me off the most in this world is hypocrites. Like,
Yeah.
I try to be very consistent. I am a very consistent
I try
dude.
to. I mean, and nobody's perfect, right?
Nobody's perfect, no. But yeah, if you're a hypocrite, like, man, do you really feel comfortable, like, in your shell? Do you not feel this guy? I've flip-flopped before, everybody has, and then I feel so disgusted with myself. I'm just like, you
No,
know
I do
what? No,
too.
screw that. I need to be very consistent.
Yeah.
And now, I mean, I'm lucky where, honestly, I can be blunt with somebody, but come from a place of love, compassion, and just be like, listen, man, if somebody comes up to me and says, hey, man, I want your opinion on this, I'll give them the choice right there. It's like, do you want my honest opinion, or do you want me to give you one of those little white lies that can't hurt your feelings? I'll give you that option.
Do you want me to sugarcoat shit, or do you just want me to rip the Band-Aid off?
Like, I'll give you that option. And then if they say, no, I want you to be for real, I'll be like, you could have done better. Like, hey, I like what you're doing. I like where your head's at. Your heart's in the right place. Your execution was poor. I'll talk, like, again, with my cousin last call, he's a great DJ. I've criticized him with some stuff, but I've never said like, oh, you suck or anything. It's like, no, man, hey, you're good. I don't want to get to your head. You can be better. You know, don't be cocky. And I'll tell that to anybody. I'll be very considerate, but I'm not gonna just give my opinion unwarranted. If you come up to me and you ask for it, I'll give it to you. But until then, I'm just gonna, shut my mouth. But
that doesn't mean you figure it out for your own.
Yeah, but I know that I'm lucky to say that I welcome the truth. If somebody right now, if they're listening to this and they come to a moment where they either have to tell me the truth, the hard truth, or give me a white lie. If you give me a white lie, you don't love me. I'm just gonna say that right now. If you give me, oh, you're trying to protect my feelings, fuck you. Like,
right.
Really, like, especially those who know me. Like, I mean, I joke around going like, oh, I have no feelings, I have no emotions. But no, really, I'm very in control of them. If you don't tell me the truth that can potentially make me better, you're going to give me a white lie, I will sense that and I will cut you out. Like, it's as simple as that. And people need to hear that kind of harsh words to know, like, all right, listen, like, I need to be straight with them. And then at the same time, I get it with some friends and family. It's just a little bit uncomfortable, but you need to. Slowly, I believe people will appreciate that. And kind of going back with the journalist things, yes, the public, a lot of people will probably hate you for kind of exposing something. But overall, I really do believe, I'm an optimistic guy. I really do believe at the first they'll be angry, but eventually they'll say, you know what, no, I needed to know that. I didn't want to know that. Ignorance is bliss, but I did.
Well, it's like historically, if you go back to the industrial era, like journalists were low paid. They weren't popular. I mean, they were there to control the monopolies. They were there to talk about what was going on.
Do you think it was more pure back then?
Do what?
Journalists, do you think it was more pure back then?
In a way. There was also a lot of corruption, like a lot of yellow journalism. Like,
I've heard that term, but I've never.
The Spanish-American War, like, they really were one of the main factors behind it. I mean, just because it was starting out and there was no real regulation, but it was dangerous, right? And there was like actual risks to telling the truth. And I think that now the risks have increased so much to telling the truth that they'll just kill you. Honestly, I think if you break a big enough story, they'll just put you down.
You don't think that happens here in the States, do you? Like, people getting whacked because...
No, because people don't do it. Because people...
Oh, okay.
Because it got too big and they were like, we're just going to focus on something else.
I mean...
We're going to start helping the establishment instead of going up against it.
I mean, I do think...
Personally, that's what I see.
Yeah.
I mean, I could be wrong, and honestly, I've stopped watching the news as much recently because I was in such a dark place and I was consuming a ton of it. Yeah. And it didn't do me any favors. But
I do follow some news sources, both from the left and right. Like I do have my political standings, but I try to keep that private because like there's no point.
Yeah, I mean, exactly.
But if I tell you my values, people can like probably be like, "Oh, okay, I know where he stands." But it's whatever. I'm not about to spew it. I follow what I follow. That's it. But I'll listen to both sides, and I do see kind of that there is like this small rebellion, kind of like you said, trying to expose the truth and all that stuff. But yeah, I do agree with you that the vast majority has become corporatized, that they're not trying to expose it so much because they're corporatized. Yeah. So do you think, in a way, I got a buddy of mine. She's a journalist major. I don't know what she's doing right now. She's in Chicago, but do you think, in a way, like, I hate to be pessimistic about it, but do you think journalism is like kind of dying down, or like it's like,
in a sense, yeah,
like the true essence of it?
Like I think TV journalism is, for sure. I think it's definitely turning more internet based, more independent based.
But isn't independent based like a little bit better because, oh hey, I'm not controlled by anybody, so I'm actually going to try to be pure and try to expose stuff?
It would be if you didn't have big tech censorship.
There you go.
I mean, yeah, like there's always some sort of controlling hand that's trying to keep people quiet. And back in the day, like even as, like 2015, like you could say really anything and nobody would think that you'd be kicked off the internet.
Yeah.
But now they've kicked people off the internet. And like, regardless of where you stand on their politics, like that's not okay.
No.
Right? Like they deserve to speak, especially in America. It's in the damn Constitution. It's in the Bill of Rights.
Yeah.
Like
people don't appreciate that, though.
Yeah.
It's like, if you actually sit down and just like read all that, the Bill of Rights, the Declaration of Independence, and you actually digest that down, you realize, even like, again, with freedom of speech, man, I don't like the fact that you said that. But
you have the right to say it.
You are allowed to say, who am I, me of flesh and blood, to take that away from you? Yeah. And again, it kind of goes back to me just being a very chill, not emotional dude. I've been bullied. I've had, bad shit, even from like close friends who've done like some pretty nasty things to me.
Oh yeah.
And stuff like, yeah. And I've had some family members too. And it's just like this really bad shit. Shrug it off. It sucks that I had to go through that at times, but like I've kept a level head, and yeah, it's just, yeah, you said that, whatever, stung, but I'm gonna get through this.
Yeah.
And you know what? I never once thought, man, I wish I could like arrest you or censor you. I've never once thought that. I just thought like, I'm just going to be better than you. Whatever in life, whatever it is, but like easily like, oh, I'll try to make more money than you.
I'm just going to push myself.
Yeah.
I'm just going to turn this negative feeling into a motivation.
A part of it, and like, this is where I'm going to get a little bit philosophical.
Let's do it.
I wrote a paper, in the 10th grade. I will always remember this. Honestly, it's like one of the, I wish I could like find that, archive that. But I remember it. It was like, I wrote about how martial art is honestly the key to peace on earth, kind of thing. And I'm being really in general kind of about it, but in a way I do believe in it. Because, man, martial art has been just honestly the key to my happiness too. It's that I've and I've told you this before. The greatest moments in my life, the greatest lessons I've ever learned in my life or the greatest moments was getting punched in the face and getting choked out. Yep. Those two were like one of the best lessons I've ever learned in my life, because getting punched in the face made me learn two very important things. One, man, this fucking sucks. I don't want to get punched again. Like,
but I'm not dead.
But I'm not dead. Like, but but let me, so somebody hit me, I can also deal that pain to somebody else. So, let me control my own strength. Let me work on that. I am more powerful than I realize. Like, one, getting hit sucks. I don't want to deal that to somebody willy-nilly, but at the same time, I am powerful. I can take a hit. I'm not made of glass. I'm still here. So that's what I've learned with that. And then getting choked out, it was like, man, this situation I'm in, it sucks. I'm suffocating, and it can be related with finances. Like, we've all been there with finances. Like, if you're, struggling with money, it feels like you're suffocating. It's like getting choked out. But what I've learned is there's a way out of it. You're not out yet. There's a way out of it. It sucks. You're in a bad situation. Step 1 isn't going to get you out. You got to do 10 steps, or, relatively. But you can't do step number 9 until you do step number 8. But you can't do step number 8 until you do step number 7 and all the way down to 1. So in order to do step number 2, you got to do step number 1. Follow these steps. Keep a calm head. Keep under pressure. You're in a bad spot, but do step number 1. Work your way up. You'll get out. You'll be fine. But you got to learn that. And I mean, I won't go into too much depth about it, because then we'll be here for like 3 more hours. But the point is that with martial art, everything I've learned there can be applied to the outside life. And
for sure.
And the thing about it is that also it's and this is a silly thing, but it's a very real thing, is that especially when you work out, like you started working out again and you feel this, you not necessarily with just martial arts. It's when you're active, when you're in the gym, you're grinding. Afterwards, you're tired, you're hungry. You grab that shower, you eat that food, and you just want to chill. You want to be relaxed. Martial art, with that, I learned that at a young age, to the point where I'm like, I'm too tired to focus on this negative stuff in the world. I don't have time for it. So when dealing with like the ugly things in the world, I'm just, and people go like, oh, how are you not mad about this? And did you hear what the president said? Did you hear about? I don't give a shit. It's not helping my workout. It's not helping me make more money. I just don't got time for it, really. Like, I want to focus on me. There
was some comedian, I can't remember his name. He was just like, yeah, I don't focus on politics because politics are losers. I was like,
it's true. They're overpaid losers, man. They're bitches, too. So I was talking to a friend, and she was just joking. She was like, you should run for mayor. I was like, fuck no. And she was like, but if you're a successful mayor, you could run for governor, and then who knows? I'm like, every politician is a professional bitch. And one day, I can't wait to have a politician on my show, and I'll talk to him, and I'll tell him, you're a professional bitch. Servers at a restaurant, you're a professional bitch. All right, listen, it's okay. Oh, yeah. Know what you are. You're a professional bitch. But politicians are overpaid professional bitches.
I agree.
But yeah, so in closing to my long little monologue is that with martial art, but not necessarily just with martial arts, it's that, you need to get to a place where you work on yourself. You literally work on yourself so much that you're so tired, and when you're recovering, you want to focus on your recovery, eating right, being around good people. You want to focus on that in your recovery, that you realize you don't have time for all these bullshits in the world. You see it, you acknowledge it. If it crosses this line, I'm gonna address it. Until then, I'm gonna be fine in my own little thing. And that's one of the reasons why I'm so in control of my emotions. That's one of the reasons why I'm so, in a way, optimistic. Is because, I know what I can deal. I know what I can take. Once something crosses my line, I will address it. But until then, I'm gonna sit pretty. I'm gonna chill.
No, I'm in the same boat. I mean, I did a little martial arts. I didn't go as far as you, obviously, but I've taken hard hits and had to get back up and get back in line to run more drills, or get back down on the mat and try and
you've done wrestling, you've done football.
I mean, and then I've also been choked out outside of that area, just like on concrete, and luckily I was able to sort of weasel my way out of that. But yeah, I mean, shit like that happens. And honestly, little anecdote, I forgot that happened. I don't know. It was so long ago, I forgot that happened until I was catching back up with a friend, and we were just talking about like high school. And he was like, "Didn't you get choked out that one time?" I was like, "Oh yeah, I did." Happen? Yeah, that was interesting. I don't know. I guess I just repressed it, but but no, yeah, it's just one of those things you just got to deal with, and you have that realization of like, okay, I'm in a tight spot, but I'm able to get out of it, and I'm certainly not dead, and that's all that matters. And I've just got to shake it off and be a duck, and just scream on the inside and keep calm on the outside, and it's all going to pass away. It's all just going to fade into nothingness eventually.
That's how I feel like, again, that's why, freedom of speech is so important. It's because, like, back then, don't get me wrong, back then, when I was, like, in high school or middle school, somebody said an ugly thing to me, man, I just wanted to beat the living fuck out of them. Like, yes, it pissed me off. Now, you say something ugly to me, I'll be like, who are you? Like, it's like, don't you wish you could censor that person? No. I'm good.
Maybe probably right.
Ask me when I was like 12 years old. Yeah, because I didn't know any better. Because I was a kid. I'm an adult, and I got better things to do. I'm not gonna censor you. I don't care. I'm just gonna move. I'm not even gonna pull out my phone and record you and put you on blast. Like, oh, look at this person being rude to me. Let's dox this. No, I don't care. I don't care. Like, I'm just gonna move on. Why? Because if you're a dude and you're crossing my line, I'm gonna tell you, this is a real mindset. This is what I really do think about. If some guy is being really ugly to me and insulting me or my friends and stuff, if I'm in a position like, all right, man, you need to leave. I'm gonna try to make you leave, or get security, whatever, and I'm just gonna push you out. You come, again, metaphorically, but also very literally. You cross my line, you're forcing me to take action, and I will take action because I'm a confident person. I know what I'm capable of. I'm not saying like, oh, I'm a Kung Fu master. No, but I don't want you to cross my line. I'm not inviting you to cross my line. I'm just letting you know I have a line. You cross it, I'm going to do things.
Yeah. And we're also old enough to like completely own weapons and everything and do. So it's like, yeah, go ahead, cross it. I'll shoot you.
Exactly. Like, it's just like, I listen, I don't want to.
Yeah. God forbid me do it. Yeah.
Or nothing. Once it's physical, that's a whole different talk. It's like, okay, I'm forced to take action.
Breaking my house.
That's a line.
I'm going to shoot you. Yeah. Like, I know what I'm doing. Exactly. I've done the training. I've taken the time to learn about it and to learn about myself, to know that I'm able to shoot you. And
that's what I'm saying. It's like, that's getting punched in the face. I know I can deal with that same pain. I know it hurts. I know what I'm capable of. I'm not saying I want to just go out and punch everybody in the face. No, even though that'd be awesome.
Or seek out getting punched in the face.
Or seek out getting punched in the face. Exactly. The point is that I know what it's like to be bullied. I know what it's like to have ugly things said to me. And yes, when I was younger, it hurt. And I don't want to ever make somebody feel that way. So guess what? I'm not going to try to be that. I'm not going to be a bully. And I know some people, that's subjective. Some people would be like, oh, you are a bully. Oh, whatever. But
I don't say you as a bully.
Yeah. But the point is that I'm not going to shut down somebody. Man, I can't believe, like, in a way, I can't believe, I know I'm like circling this, but I can't believe what goes on I really want to interview somebody that has the power to censor and be like, Do you really feel good about that? Like,
hell yeah, they do.
like
Hell
what
yeah,
goes
because
on?
I think that
They
they're
blame God.
exactly. It's like a power trip. They think that they're helping
absolute power
everybody.
corrupts. Absolutely, it's
Yeah,
that famous saying. It's fuck.
but to me, it just shows fear,
It does.
and before anything else, it shows you're scared, and that you're willing to do anything to put it away. And
Oh, I'm protecting you. Like,
right,
really?
yeah, no, you're not. You're not at all. Yeah, that's what makes me mad the most.
It does. Yeah, no censorship. And, I mean, it's whatever.
It'll change. I think people are waking up to it. I'm pretty hopeful about the future. I don't think it's going to get much worse than how it is already. I think with all the stuff that's been going on,
I think it can get worse.
Oh, it definitely can. But I think I think people are going to kind of stop it in its tracks. I think like together,
yeah,
people are just going to be so fed up they're going to be like, all right, enough. We got to completely change it all.
I like what you said earlier about how, with journalists back then, or good ones at least, it's like, hey, you expose something bad about somebody, some company, whatever. It's like, hey, how can we fix this?
Mm-hmm.
It really does need to be seen through that kind of lens. It's like, hey, I just exposed you. Let's fix it. I'm not going to beat you over.
Let's fix this together.
Let's fix this together.
Not one person fixing it for everybody else. Let's all have a say in how to fix it so we can all be happy and live in peace, and know that it's going to get fixed because we're the greatest country in the world,
mm-hmm.
and whatever we want to do, we can do.
Yeah.
Right? Like, we just need to do it. We just need to fucking do it.
See, and this is one of the things where, again, people are going to get annoyed by me. I relate everything with martial arts. There is no greater joy than teaching somebody, in your class. You don't know their religion. You don't know their political affiliation. You don't know their lifestyle. You don't know whether they eat meat or vegetarian. You just don't know. Maybe you do, whatever. But the point is, you help each other in that class, but it's a small example. You're helping everybody in that class because you all share the same thing. You all want to be better. You're all having fun. You're all getting fit. Just take that and amplify it to everything else. Like, as you and I, we work together. We don't want another server to go down. Why? Because then it's going to hurt us. It's going to come back.
Right.
But at the same time, we genuinely don't want to see somebody, suffer and get hurt. We'll
mm-hmm.
help you. I do believe in some avenues, not all, that there are people who, they have that cutthroat mentality. Like, no, I will throw you under the bus in order to get where I need to be. And that fucking sucks. It's like, you can all rise together. You don't need to be, cutting, be so cutthroat about it.
Right, yeah.
And I've met people like that. I'm pretty sure you've met people like that.
For sure.
And they're just not good people to be around.
No.
But it's things like that where it's not hard to help your community, help your neighbor, because if they succeed, you succeed.
Mm-hmm.
Not like, oh, you're piggybacking off. It's, oh, it felt good to help that person. And I've actually learned something, or I've gained something helping them, not selfishly, but like just because I genuinely want to help.
Right.
It's so cliche, but it's so real too.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that's why it's cliche.
Yeah.
Because it's so real that it's been overstated and people just kind of throw it to the wayside. But it shouldn't be. Like, it should be the actual way that people function and like look at their neighbor and be like, okay, yeah, I may not agree with him on who he voted for, but I'm going to help him mow his lawn because he's an older guy and, he doesn't need to be out in the sun for too long, right? They're like, I've got the time to do it. So, and my lawn's already mowed. So let me help out because I've got the energy, I've got the effort, and I'm not looking for anything in return. It's just a nice thing to do. And maybe one day it'll be repaid. He'll see me with a flat tire and he'll stop to help me out, right? Like, and that happens.
Mm-hmm.
I just broke a chair.
Fuck. It just like breaks down.
It completely breaks. Shit.
It's fine.
It's just like a little cap. But no, yeah.
Yeah. No, that was awesome. I love that we took it there. We'll almost come to a stopping point. I do want to ask you these two questions just because like I think it's really cool. So you're into books. I'm not. Like I'm trying to get into it. So what are some of your favorite books and slash how would you how should someone go about starting to read books?
I mean,
just say not read if you didn't need to read. Like,
so
I'm sorry.
I really got into reading when I was small. Because we didn't come from, my parents were both working and in college whenever they had me really young.
Oh, nice.
So it was hard for them. And there's a lot of times that the only entertainment that they could give me was just like go to the library, pick out a ton of little kids' books and just read for hours and just read to me. And so that's where it really started. And
shout out to your parents.
Yeah, they're great people, super great people. I love them. But that's where it started for me, and we just kind of moved forward into like larger books, the chapter books and stuff. I mean, like I remember they would read Harry Potter to me and stuff really young, and then it just like moved on from there. And I grew up reading a lot of fantasy as well, especially in middle school and high school. It was pretty much an escape from school and everything, and from classes, and like from all the times that I was getting bullied. It was just it was great for me to just slip into another world and to see stories about kings and princes and children thief that turned out to be like noble people, and saved the world. I mean, I love stories like that. And I think everybody does to a certain extent. That's why they get into Star Wars, or they get into Marvel, or they play video games, because you can act it out. But for me, it came in the form of like reading. And so, I mean, Lord of the Rings was really instrumental for me. Game of Thrones a little later on, really, really fell in love with the Game of Thrones series.
I need to get into that.
Yeah.
Zach has the series.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I need to get into it. I mean, those are thick books, and I think that also stops people. Just the fact that they're so large and people just don't have the time. They think that they're too busy. Mm-hmm. So I would say just, look around, keep an open mind, and it sounds bad, but literally just judge a book by its cover at first. Like, see what covers strike you and just pick it up and read the back. If it doesn't look like it's going to interest you, put it back and find another book that does. And then see how far you go. Find out what you like, find out what you don't like. And then if you really want to get into it, go back and find another, And I think trilogies or like sagas are a good way to do that as well, because you get really invested into the story, and then you're like, okay, gotta get the next one, gotta get the next one, I gotta get the next one. And then you're like looking forward to it as you're watching all of these characters grow. All you do is start to read, I'm reading two books right now. One is called The Hero with 1,000 Faces by Joseph Campbell. It's about the hero's journey and ancient mythology, pretty much. I mean, and modern mythology, just the human mind and our psychology and how that relates to the stories that we told our young back in the day, and all of the lessons that are in it. It's been a pretty valuable book.
Nice.
And I'm also reading a book that just came out, The Anarchist's Handbook by Michael Malice. It's a bunch of essays from prominent anarchists, prominent and not prominent, people who have written essays on the state and government and everything. And it's been a pretty interesting book, just in terms of broadening how I look at our government, and just the world in general. But I've always loved fantasy. I'd say one of my favorite fantasy books is Lost Gods by Brahm. Anybody who likes fantasy like I do, I think even you would like this book. I think that'd be a great book for you to start off with, because it's really easy to read, and it's a great fucking story. Super, super awesome book. So Yeah, you just got to find something that you like.
Yeah.
Right. And I think going through school, like you said, like you always hated the English and literature classes because the books probably sucked.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Like I remember having to sit down and having to read The Scarlet Letter and absolutely hating it because it's terrible. Like, yeah, I understand the importance of it for the time period and everything. And I get the story behind it. Right. But at the same time, it's a terrible book to read.
Yeah.
Like the language is so flowery that it's just too much. And I think that really puts a lot of people off. And they forget that books can be enjoyable. So I just say you gotta do a little research. You gotta find out what you like.
No, I like what you said, especially that whole you can't judge a book by its cover. But you're right. You're absolutely right. There are moments. Again, I'm not necessarily a book reader, but there are moments where will pick up a book and kind of look at the cover and be like, "Oh, that looks cool," and then I will read the back.
Yeah.
And sometimes I've had moments where I'll read the back and I'm like, "This looks pretty interesting," or whatever. I don't care.
I mean, I do the same thing with music. Like when I'm trying to find a new band to listen to, I'll just scroll through and look at the album art. Whatever album art I like the most, I'll just click on it and listen to it. See what it is.
I guess, because I can only speak for myself, I guess what it is, and you're right with the Game of Thrones, like the book's huge, you're just like, oh, I don't want to commit to that.
It took me years to get through the series.
Yeah. I do think that for me, it's not even, I mean, it is the thickness of a book, but also it's just, I guess it's, even if it's a book that's like 200 pages or 100 pages, whatever. I guess it's just where I'm scared that, oh, what if I don't enjoy it? What if I spend like, $10-15 on this book and I don't enjoy it? Now I wasted $10-15. Ooh, I just added to the shelf. And but you've already started to do your research, and I don't know. I guess a part of me is just like, oh man, like I kind of want to already know the story before I even.
Right. I mean,
it's weird. But it's kind of going back to what we say. You just got to start.
Yeah.
I really do. I do need to just sit down.
I mean, I agree with you to a certain extent. Like, I only buy books that I know I'm going to like. I've got a lot of books. But at the same time, like I've been reading all my life and I know what I like. Right. So I understand for somebody that doesn't read and they're like, books are expensive. I don't want to pay for it in order to read half of it and just sit it on a shelf and let it collect dust. So I would say go to the bookstore, and like Barnes and Noble, they have little seats. That's why the bookstores have coffee shops in them. So you can sit down with the book and kind of get to know it first before you decide to purchase it. Like I've done that. Just gone to Barnes and Noble and spent a couple hours just literally sitting and reading different books to see what I like. And then I'll walk off with like a stack, and those are pretty valuable experiences. Like,
wow, I actually never thought about that. That's so true.
Yeah. I've actually met people doing that.
I don't know. Damn, dude. This is what I'm talking about. Like gears turning in my head. I might actually. That sounds appealing because you want to know what it is too. And I don't know why I never thought about this. I always thought. No, I knew some books are sealed, some books are not, but the vast majority of books aren't sealed, and they have tables. You can go ahead and just start reading them, and then if you're like, damn, I am hooked. Okay, let me. Yeah. I don't want to stay here forever. Let me go home. Let me buy this. Let me go home and finish. Damn, dude, that's what I'm talking about. Like, oh shit.
Yep.
Damn.
But it's like, I mean,
I never realized that.
Like my library is always open to you. If you want to stop by and like look through it, and just see what you like, what catches your eye. Just sit on the couch and just read it, first couple chapters and be like, yeah, this may be for me. Or no, this ain't me at all, and just put it back on the shelf and find something different.
Yeah. I mean,
this is pretty nerdy, but my grandfather would take me to Barnes and Noble and like give me like little book, with scavenger hunts, He'd be like, all right, go find a book on stealth bombers and tell me the engine size. Be like, all right, go to the military history section and look up the aviation books, and then like,
that's pretty cool.
Find like the engine and stuff, and like read it, and then like come back and tell him, and he'd be enjoying a cup of coffee and reading his own book or whatever, and then I would do it, and he'd give me another thing to go find, and I would just like run through the bookstore trying to find a certain book,
That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it was a really cool experience, and I'll always have that memory with me. But there's always going to be something for everybody. Mm-hmm. It's just like shows. It's just like games, You watch a couple episodes and you're like, yeah, this show sucks. It's like, luckily you don't have to buy it. You're just paying for the streaming service or whatever. But yeah, I mean, it's just like with anything else. You just got to find the time to sit down and do it.
Do they have that with books, like kind of like streaming service where, if you pay like $10 a month, you have a library of all these books?
Not that I'm aware of.
I gave some guy a business idea. Just
shit.
Give me royalty.
But I'd be afraid people would mess them up.
Yeah.
Unless it's all digital.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Oh yeah.
Like have it like it will motivate people to get one of those like Kindle things.
Mm-hmm.
Those things are pretty cool. My buddy's dad has one.
I like the feel. I've got a Kindle. I like the feel of the pages.
Yeah, no, I hear that. And I'm with that because it's the equivalent of owning a digital copy of games or movies. I like physical copy.
I like physical copies too.
Yeah, I'm with that. So last question, and then we'll wrap this up. I try to do. This is the only kind of theme thing I try to do on my shows is because honestly, I'm genuinely curious, and also it helps anybody who watches this or listens to it. Is there any advice you would give to a young person or younger you? Something that you're just like, man, I know this now. I wish I would have known this earlier, but hey, let me go ahead and say this, and hopefully, whether somebody takes it or not, it's whatever, it's up to them, but something you want to pass down? I mean, I'm going to have you on the show plenty of time, but still, like, just something right now.
I mean, there's a lot, honestly. Like, and I think we've hit on a lot of it, too. Like, take risks, Mm-hmm. You just got to do it. You just got to walk through the motions sometimes. You got to live your truth. Don't be afraid to... You gotta know when to stop, too. You gotta know when...
Like, what do you mean?
If you're doing something and you're like, this ain't working, you can't keep doing it. You gotta learn from your mistakes and just try a different approach.
Well, I'll play devil's advocate. So, somebody who's like, oh, you should stop. It's like, no, man, that's quitting. You shouldn't quit. Keep going.
Well, I mean, it depends on what it is, right?
Oh, no,
if it's a bad habit.
That's right? Being devil's advocate, yeah.
I mean, someone who's addicted to heroin. Wait, what? You gonna quit?
You're gonna quit?
What, you gonna quit?
You gotta keep on going. You gotta be the master of this. Yeah. You're not at that right high yet.
Yeah. Or eventually it's just gonna quit you.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I mean, exactly. It depends on what it is.
Yeah.
If there's personal growth and it's just making you uncomfortable, obviously stick with it. But if it's something that is harming you, and it's something that it's harming others.
Yeah. So here, let me make it a little bit harder. All right. So you got a buddy, say they're a musician, and they're, grinding at it. They have a day job. They're investing all their earnings into it, and they're trying to make it. They're trying to be the next best thing. So right there, do you tell them, he spent like 5-10 years as a musician, still doing just local little
I'd have
coffee
to hear
shops?
It first. I mean,
when do you tell that person to quit, or do you ever tell that person to quit? Just because I do got an answer, but I want to hear what you have to say.
I'd say, of course, I'd have to listen to the music, but maybe it's not economic. Maybe it's not worthwhile to put all of your time and effort into it. You know, maybe you need to focus on something else and then keep it on the back burner for a little bit. So that way the art will flow through you again. Right. Or, you know, I think things come in waves.
Mm-hmm.
I think creativity especially comes in waves.
It does.
And you're not going to be creative 24/7. You're not going to be writing your magnum opus, you know, and performing it in front of 1,000 people all of the time, right? You're going to have rough days. You're going to have creative days. You're going to have days where you don't feel like doing it. You know, you're going to have easy days where it comes really naturally, and then the performance goes great, and like a lot of people buy your shit or buy your merch or whatever. It just depends. I mean, and it depends on the music. Mm-hmm. But I'd say, look, man, I mean, there's so much more to this life than just narrowing down, focusing on one thing all of the time. Look around, see what other opportunities are presented to you. And maybe you need to focus on something else and experience something different in order to bring that back into your art later on. Mm-hmm. That's what I would tell them.
That's along the lines of what I would say. Really what I would say, I mean, but it's not any different from what you said, is that, all right, you spend all this money and time to be, say, like a great guitarist, right? Okay, I have no doubt in my mind that you're a great guitarist, but now you need to spend your money and time learning how to record yourself.
Yeah, or learning how to market yourself.
And then learning how to do that, you need to work on all these avenues that, like, if you were to draw like a graph, it's all pointing towards guitar. So you need to work on all these things to amplify that. And that was a little pun with an amplifier.
Well, another sort of, like, to bring it back to the guitar, it's like playing shit in chords, mm-hmm. right? Like, you're good at the guitar, that's one string. You're good at guitar and you're good at recording yourself, that's two strings. And then you're good at marketing yourself too, that's the power chord, mm-hmm. right? You're hitting all three notes at once and it sounds great. And, you know, you're able to really reap the benefits of that.
Yeah. And that's my point, is that if somebody comes up to me and is like, hey, DJ, do you think I'm a great guitarist? Yeah, you're a great guitarist. You just suck at marketing. You suck at, you know, putting yourself in these other situations. You need to get better at that. You're a great guitarist, no doubt. Now let's work on all these other things to put you in the limelight. Mm-hmm. So that's what I would say.
But I was just saying, like for me personally, I'm a workaholic. Like, mm-hmm. I will work myself to the bone. And like, I need to know when to stop. I need to know when to go on vacation. Mm-hmm. Like, I need to know when to take the time to relax and to catch my breath. Because if I don't, I'm just going to put myself in a bad mood. I'm going to get tired of whatever I'm doing. I'm going to burn out completely.
When's the last time you ever took a vacation?
It's been a couple of years.
Do take one.
Yeah. Well, I'm going on one.
When?
July.
Really? Same.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's not the week I'm doing it, but yeah, I'm gonna try to take a week off in July and just chill.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with my family. Going to the beach, just somewhere in Florida.
Oh, nice.
So
okay, cool.
yeah. No, I'm looking forward to it. I'm gonna go. I know a guy down there too. I'm gonna go hang out with him. I haven't seen him in a while, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
I haven't been to a body of water in a long time. That needs to change.
Mm-hmm. It's been a couple years for me, but yeah, man. Like, so that's what I was saying, is like, know yourself. Take the time to get to know yourself. Yes. Know your capabilities. Know what you're willing to take a risk on. Know when you're willing to stop yourself. Know what's too far for you, and constantly push yourself in the right direction. Because, like, there's so many times that I'll see somebody and, like, they're on, I mean, shit, even me, you know, like, I've watched myself do it. You're on the right track, but you're also stabbing yourself in the back at the same time, and you're hindering your own progress. So you got to be willing to cut out the fat and just keep moving forward, but also knowing when to stop along the way in order to, you know, catch your breath, to recharge, to let your body rest so it can gain muscle, so it can, you know, go forward even stronger. No, so that's what I meant.
No, for sure. I was playing devil's advocate. No, honestly, yes. You do get, my thing about stopping real quick is that it's not stopping. It's slow down. the only time you should ever stop is when it physically and financially hurts you. Now there's a difference between, or others, sure. But if and not working out like, oh, with an injury, like, oh, you got hurt because you did a bad no, just you're not stopping, you're recovering, you're slowing down. You know what you messed up, fix it, but you're not stopping. Stop when you're investing in whatever craft and you're being an idiot and it's forcing you to live super paycheck to paycheck or to a bad point. It's like, no, that's when you need to stop and readjust. But don't necessarily stop. Well, I'll say this for myself. I wanted to be an actor for the longest time. I was pursuing that. And then as I was pursuing that, I realized that I wasn't happy and that also I was getting obsessed with, why am I not like at least gaining something?
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't like that feeling. So I did stop that cold on its track, and I decided to, but I didn't stop the energy. I still wanted to.
Right, you just shifted it into something else, and that's what matters.
And now with this podcast and stuff, I'm so much happier. I've been, just super blessed, super happy, and now I'm at that point where so far, knock on wood, that I'm not in a position where, oh, I need to stop something right now is unhealthy for me. Everything so far is just greenlit. Everything's good. But I've had moments like that. Yeah. And where you should stop and redirect that energy. And at the same time, I did slow down some stuff. I didn't fully stop. I just slowed down and I was like, all right, I need to come back. I need to attack this in a different front.
Yeah.
But no, that's a very underrated thing you said, is knowing when to stop or to slow down. Some people don't think, because I've been a musclehead in a way where I'm just like, no, I just need to keep grinding through it. And it's, no, be about it smart.
Yeah. Work smarter, not harder.
Yeah.
And growth is uncomfortable. So don't be afraid of putting yourself in uncomfortable situations. Because it's always better to put yourself in an uncomfortable situation than to have something else entirely put yourself there or put you there.
Yeah.
I'd rather be prepared than be completely caught off guard. So that's where I'm at.
Yeah.
I mean, I could keep going with those little cheesy one-liners, all day.
I can too, man.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, Brady, do you want to tell people where to follow you or stuff? Do you care about that kind of stuff?
I don't give a shit right now. I'm working on some projects, some secret projects. It's coming down the pipeline.
All right. Well, when you get something concrete and you want to promote it, come on the show.
You got it, man.
All right, Brady. Thank you so much.
Right, thanks a lot, man.
All right. This was honestly really fun.
Yeah, this was fun.
Yeah. All right. Take it easy, guys.
Peace out.